in their first game, I actually thought that they were RK2, which is why I spent the most of the game being surprised at how strong that lineup was. Led by people such as Dubj, Crushed, and the ineffable Skeetsy, who is known for his maturity and accuracy and ability to read. Going up against, of course, Templar, who is probably the team to beat RK1, the team that was thought to have the best chance. You saw them have a tremendous performance against MOR, just absolutely dominating versus BA as well, Blade Army being a group that had some of the BB people, some of the best players in the game, Lakritz, Orion teaming up with even people like Ray from SimRay servers, and was actually able to somewhat fell the TPL Team Elite. So not a squad to laugh at by any means. Not just your usual pug group, but actually a really skilled group of veterans joining together. Actually ended up getting felled pretty decisively by Templar. So they've marched their way to the finals here. Looking forward to see if DJ Hands-Free and Dub J, despite all their love for each other, will be able to put aside their love and do battle on the field of justice.
This is a Dark Forest map that everyone's been waiting for. I think we should do it more like this rather than having tournaments to decide maps, because then every round ends up being Stone Hill or Dark Forest. It's kind of fun this way in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel predetermined maps are much nicer, because then otherwise you have such an emphasis on the first opening duel. That's actually how we always do it across the pond over in America. Tournaments are always predetermined maps. It also helps that way both teams can bring their A game. They know what they want to scrim for. So you don't have some team that's like, okay, I'm just going to scrim a shit ton on Stone's Hill. We have all these crazy Stone's Hill strategies, and then they lose the duel, and they have like poor advantage or lots of disadvantage. And on the flip side, if they win the duel, then they have a shit ton of advantage. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I always think it's nicer to have it more like the opening tip-off in basketball. Doesn't really give you any advantage one way or the other, at least not much. So
yeah, the size really doesn't matter essentially. Really look deep into strategy. Just by the way, I'm not sure if you remember, we agreed that Arcade has a time disqualification based on, because of Skipsy's kind of stupidity of drafting TPLs versus Blade Army's match. So they have like 2-minute disqualification on their attack time if you just want to be very specific and know when. And RK and Templar is happy with that, so
yes,
RK has to work for this win.
Yep, RK is going to definitely have to do a lot to try and overcome. 2 minutes may not seem like a lot, but against two teams as both as skilled as these two, it can come down to the wire. And if it does that, then looking like Templar is going to be rewarded by Skeetsy's stupidity. So.
Well, yeah, the thing is, it does look like a better idea to disqualify Skitsy, but essentially, I'm not sure if I wasn't really sure what to do, and I thought time disqualification or disqualification of a player, maybe both, but the decision was made, it was agreed, and so that's why he wasn't disqualified. Either way, okay, should work for it.
Yep, and I think the entire community knows that he's a dumbass, which is enough of a punishment for the moment. Looking at the smoke pots being thrown, trying to mitigate that double archer effect that Templar is going for with DJ Hands-Free off in that cave, and then you see 27 pulling off those infamous javelins. Getting taken out by Skeetsy though. DJ Hands-Free still over on that side pegging. It looks like this is going to be a pretty clean Templar wipe. This is occurring on Pro Mod, by the way, so all the live changes that happened in this previous patch, removal of combo feint to parry, inclusion of those live countermeasures to not punish during recovery, and lots of the balance decisions are not in effect. Ooh, nice fire.
On the first fight.
Yep, now fire pots seem to have come out, on the side of that men-at-arms, gets a nice vanguard, but it looks like Templar Josh is saying we don't care, even if we may be burning a little bit. I'm going to take my third kill, gets Rumple. Nice 2v1ing. You had both of those vanguards on Rumpelstiltskin, and you had Josh go around, noticing that Rumple was focusing on that Brandistock vanguard. The Brandistock vanguard didn't try and do anything, but just soak up the attention of Rumple.
RK's done a second regroup now. So this is their second attack. It's interesting, Templar's using their 6 guys javelin guy and paying off.
Yeah, 27
heavy damage.
Yeah, 27 extremely skilled in that. It looks like they are going to be felled though. Crush goes around, gets a nice pick off onto their back line, and now goes around, circles back, takes out 27, who was the last one there. Interesting, 27 actually, I do believe was actually sporting Simray. Oh no, that was 20k. I apologize. Yeah. All these 20 names getting so confusing. Crush getting nice pick off onto Tomy, and now you see the 3v2 gets down. Napster, nice movement. We saw Napster with nice movement on Stones Hill yesterday as well. In those disadvantageous situations, he really knows how to keep circling in such a manner that he can combo feint to parry any hits that do come onto him while maintaining his aggressive offensive capacity. Affinity using that Brandistock, nice feint on the slash. The feint on the slash made him think that his attack was coming from one side, and then he uses the overhand to get that that poke off. Does a nice work, and now poor Tomy is going to have to 1v2, and or poor Crush is going to have to 1v2, and Tomy takes him out.
RK was trying to push away, fight away from the cut. Templar did not let them do that. That's why they pushed them back heavily now. A really nice flow of teamwork from both teams.
Yep, and you do see that Javelineer. He's going to want to try and stick close to that ammo pot because, especially now with the firing rate of javelins, you can run out of javelins in a rather speedy manner. But to have to forego the ammo limitation that's meant to balance them out by being next to that ammo box is really vital to an effective Javelineer on this map. You see that the archer DJ Hansfree is pushed away. They're going to want to try and keep him off of the hills where he can just freely rain down death. Crush getting a nice TK up there because that's always valued. He's trying to make up for it. He already has 1 kill for it. Dubj coming up to reinforce him. Ooh, misses that stab. Dubj would have been a nice kill on that night before going down. And Napster is just absolutely cleaning up. Looking at the scoreboard, it is 6 minutes to go. Skeetsy topping the actual scoreboard primarily because you actually get objective points for being on the cart. And they have been trying to use him, especially initially, to get the cart moving so that they can have 5 melee actually in the melee portion of the fight, while the archer is still able to affect the fight and move the cart simultaneously. A melee person just can't do that. Looks like the Templars are going to get ready to meet this next charge from RK. Oh, you see them coming from behind with that Sword of War. Crush is doing work. Gets lots of damage off him there. Only 1 kill for it though. Now he's going on to this Vanguard. Sword of War is extremely strong versus Vanguard. That 2-hit capacity that it has in Pro Mod makes it much stronger than in the live version. And now you see a nice block coming out there by Tomy. But in the Night Duel, Crush does reign supreme. Goes to get to the cart, but it looks like already on it. Rumple snuck around that left-hand side and was able to get to the cart. Now he's being beset upon by both sides by Vanguard. We see the power of that Zwei, especially versus Vanguards, as we see that 1 hit just absolutely wreck any chances Rumple had of pushing that cart. Josh getting another kill. He's actually at the top of the scoreboard along with Affinity and 27. Actually, most of the kills are spread out rather evenly on Templar, so that's somewhat of a hollow statement. All of them contributing tons, so great job by Templar on this defense. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. This is actually a fairly successful defense.
Indeed.
Yeah, interesting to see Dubj. I noticed that it seems like he has not been quite successful in this tournament as he's been in the past, being a factor that's absolutely determined team fights and with numerous different highlight skills. I know Dubj has, at least in live, won the recent duel tournament put on by Grand Mason to Your Face that I casted on the LG HeightofAbsurdity channel, so I know that he's still got skills. Don't see him contributing quite as much as he usually does to these fights.
Well, Duel is a different game, so you know, gameplay is differently played in Duel compared to team matches.
Yeah, perhaps he started to play live. I know that he's not a very big fan of live though, but perhaps he started playing it just because the spear is rape sauce at the current moment, and so then he keeps on thinking, you know, wait, my slash isn't absurdly fast anymore in this pro mod version. But nonetheless, you do see him going down that last fight without much to do.
Speaking of pro mods, I think these both clans, Templar and RK, are basically pro mods, and Templar, I believe, is strictly 100% pro mod now, so you won't be seeing them in live.
Yeah, RK and Templar both actually have two of the biggest proponents over for pro mod over in that group, and they're actually the two teams that have gotten into the pro mod finals. So honestly, that's a difficulty when you have two different clients or builds. When you have a tournament coming up, is you'll have people that want one because they excel in one and they like it, and you'll have people that excel in the other, and it really gets really muddy. I would like to say that I don't like a lot of the insults that are being thrown. I'm trying to be as apolitical as possible, but to say that, oh, your way of viewing the game is wrong, oh, your way of viewing the game is wrong. There is debate to be had. I personally think that, yeah, there is one way that is viewing the game that leads to some a better solution. But I mean, we all have our opinions, but to outright disrespect the opinions of others is completely inane and doesn't make anyone look like anything other than a little spoiled child.
Exactly. I think people in the community, at least EU and maybe America, I'm not sure, but people are very critical and they need to calm down. Seriously, it needs to stop because it's just childish now, and grow